Hi people, it's me Anja, welcome back to my channel. So as you can tell by the title of this video, my reading has gotten back to normal and I'm really happy about it because school is starting up soon and I really didn't want to start school with like being in a bad mood, because reading literally keeps me sane and it keeps me from spiraling. So I hold like so much comfort and escapism through reading and it truly helps me so much. So I don't know why I mentioned school, because I realized that by the time that you're watching this, I'm in like my 4th or 3rd week of school. But yeah, today is the 19th of August and I have read 17 books so far in August. But to me, I haven't filmed a recent reads video in a minute just because the books that I've been reading lately like haven't been that good. Most of them have been really disappointing and I didn't want to dedicate time to talking about them, so I just didn't make a recent reads video. So basically I'm prefacing this because in my next video on Tuesday, which I'm really looking forward for you guys to see, I talk about in that video how my reading just hasn't been that good lately. But that video was filmed prior to filming this video. So anyway, the first book on this list is called Like Waddle on Stone. This is a YA historical fiction and it follows 3 siblings in during the Armenian genocide of 1915. I feel like the Armenian genocide is a time period that unless you are Armenian, you don't really learn a whole lot about it. Like, I learned about it in school, but since it happened in 1915, I learned about a lot of history in 1915, and what I remember most is World War I. So I don't remember that much about the Armenian genocide, so this story helped me learn a little bit more about a time period that I think more people other than the Armenians should definitely learn about, because a genocide is absolutely horrible and terrible, and it's definitely something that people should learn a little bit more about, because I feel like if you limit yourself to only learning about the history of your own country, or the history of the countries that were involved in your country's history, why stop there? You should expand and learn about the history that happened in other countries that may not affect you, you know? Anyway, the story was good, it was solid. I gave it 3.5 stars, I believe, because other than giving me insight into the Armenian genocide and the story being in 3 verse, I feel like the book itself didn't really stand out to me. So the next book on this list is called Girl, Serpent, Thorn, written by Bashardoust. This is a YA fantasy, and it follows Soraya, who's cursed to be poisonous to the touch, and it's about how she discovers what sort of power may lie in such a curse. I liked this book. I didn't love it. I enjoyed the world building. I liked Soraya's character arc. I liked her bisexual representation. That was great. What I didn't like about this book is that I couldn't find myself to ship the endgame romance. I don't know why though. Maybe I felt like the romance, their romantic development was a little bit rushed. I don't know, maybe I just wasn't sold on it. Maybe it's because I wasn't emotionally connected to any of the characters other than Soraya, so I wasn't emotionally connected to her love interest. I don't know. But basically, I was not sold on the romance, and that's just how it be sometimes. And the plot was also a little bit slow in the beginning. The last 30% of this book was great and it was really nice, but I wish that the speed of the rest of the story was consistent with the last 30%, because the last 30% was quite fast paced and the rest of the story wasn't. So there's that. So overall, I think this book is a little bit overhyped, but that's just me. The next book on this list is called More Than Just a Pretty Face. This is a YA contemporary and I really enjoyed it. I ended up giving it 4 stars. So basically it follows Daniel. I don't know if that's how you say his name. I have no idea. But I hope that it is. But if it's not, let me know. Anyway, he's Muslim American and he's training to become a cook. He really wants to be a chef, His dad doesn't really agree with him. He's like in love with this girl that he has a crush on, but his parents are trying to set him up with somebody else. So he's hoping that this girl will be impressed by him if he wins like the Renaissance Man, which is this academic scholarship thingy at his school. But, you know, things don't really go according to plan, romantically at least. So I really enjoy this book. I don't know if I did a good job explaining that synopsis, but there you go. I really enjoy this book. I wasn't really expecting to, because I knew from the synopsis on Goodreads that it was marketed that this protagonist is going to be like a funny guy. Like, he's not the smartest or anything like that, but he's funny, and he's described as like really attractive and all of that. And I don't really like it when guys are like described to me in like that way. I would rather that be shown to me than told, if that makes any sense. But I genuinely enjoyed it. I enjoyed his character arc. I found him funny at times. I like the balance of like more hard-hitting topics and the balance of like fluffy stuff too. And the romance in this was so cute. It was so fluffy and cheesy, and it was just really good, and I really enjoyed this book. The ending was a bit like rushed and cliche, but I really enjoyed this book, and the Muslim representation was also really solid. I can only speak on it to an extent because I'm not Muslim myself, but I really enjoyed this book much more than I was anticipating to. So, next book on this list is called Eva Evelyn, Semi-Magical Witch, written by Julie Abe. This is a middle grade fantasy, and it follows Eva Evelyn, who's a semi-magical witch. Who would have thought? Anyway, she's kind of an underdog in her community because she doesn't have as much magic as everybody else, so she must go on a quest to prove to everybody that her pinch of magic that she has is more than enough, or else she may risk losing her magic forever. So she obviously doesn't want that. I really enjoyed this book. I ended up rating it 4 stars. I just really liked the world building. I liked Eva's character arc. I liked what I hope will be a cute little sapphic romance in the sequel. The romance in this book, it was hinted at and teased at, so I'm hoping it will be more developed in the sequel. The cliffhanger in this book I was not expecting at all. For some reason I thought that this book was a standalone. I don't know why, but that does not negate the fact that I am excited for the sequel. I love like underdog stories because this story was really solid. It reminded me a little bit of Secrets of the Wild Realm just because of the underdog arc, and it was just so good, and I really enjoyed it. So I would recommend this book if you like middle grade fantasies. The last book on this list is called 13s, written by Kate Alice Marshall. This is a middle grade urban fantasy, and it's set in a town that's kind of sleepy, and there's a dark secret, and it follows 3 kids. Well, it's only set in one perspective, but it's about 3 kids who are brave enough to uncover said dark secret. This book kind of reminds me of The Devouring Grey, except middle grade, just because it kind of has a similar synopsis. Anyway, this book was solid. I enjoyed the fast-paced, intriguing plot. I enjoyed the world building. I liked the friendship between the 3 characters. The main character had a good, solid character arc. That was really nice. This book was good. It was solid. Like, it was everything I expected it to be, because I didn't have super high expectations for this book, nor did I have really low expectations. It was just a book that I happened upon, and I read it, and yeah, it was good. It was solid. If this book had sequels, then like I would read them, but I don't have like really high expectations for the sequels, or really low expectations either, you know? Anyway, this book was solid. So, in conclusion, the best books in today's video were definitely More Than Just a Pretty Face and Eva Evergreen. The lowest rating book on this list was Girl, Serpent, Thorn, which I feel like should come as no surprise, because if you've been watching a lot of my recent reads videos lately, I've been disappointed lately about a lot of really like hyped up books. Like for example, in my last one, I don't remember. When you film a month in advance, you don't remember in which video you talked about like which book. But basically, I was also disappointed by A Song of Wrath and Ruin. So I feel like Girl, Serpent, and Thorn goes in the same tier. Anyway, so if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, comment down below why you enjoyed it. I apologize if this video was messier than usual. I feel like maybe that's a thing that only I notice, but maybe you noticed it too. And if so, I'm sorry. But yeah, anyway, give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Comment down below why you enjoyed it. Subscribe to me if you're new, and thanks for watching. Bye!